Hi, I'm Bob Ryan. This is Globe 10.0. With me today is Shalise Manza Young as we investigate a little bit about the Patriots during their bye week. And Shalise, the defense has been always the major topic. We kind of take this offense for granted, and it is good. But the defense, statistically, they're still, it says here, 32nd in total defense. But realistically, is it better than it was, at least even, forget last year, even 2 weeks ago?
I think they are getting better. You know, as you point out, they are still 32nd total defense.
You can't go lower, folks.
They're closing the gap. They are closing the gap. And I think more important, if you look at scoring defense, they're not giving up that many points, which I think is a more important statistic, and certainly one that Bill Belichick would point us in the direction of. But, you know, they came in, and the Cowboys, all we heard about was how explosive their offense was. They did a really good job, you know, handling them. I think the other thing that's helped is they switched a couple weeks ago their secondary. They were trying to do press man. They finally realized that they didn't have the personnel for that. So they switched back to a zone, and I think that has helped as well. Okay, I was going to ask you about personnel and about deployment and about how about the defensive line now? Is Albert showed a pulse last week? He did show a pulse last week. You know, he had a couple of solid plays, and he was only, if you look at the stat sheet, he was only credited with one quarterback hit. But traditionally, defensive tackles, they're not going to put up big numbers. His job, Vince Wilfork's job, even though Vince now is the king of the interception, typically their job is to press the pocket, make things uncomfortable. Occupy. All
right. Bill Belichick, in general terms, was always viewed in the historically as a defensive coach, but the fact is that they've been an offensive team since Brady showed up. In terms of their defensive philosophy, if there is such a thing, and overall now, a lot of people are speculating that he's gone over to a theory that we'll let him run up and down the field between the 20s, but we are going to tighten it up. As long as our red zone defense is good, we're not worried about total yards. That's for the stat people. We're only interested in points, as you point out, and the fact of the matter is our red zone defense has really been pretty good all throughout.
Yeah, I think that's been his philosophy for a while. Even if you look back to the days when Teddy Bruschi and Willie McGinnis and Richard Seymour.
So I must say, nobody really figured it out. I didn't catch on. I don't think a lot of people caught on at that point. That may be what was going on.
Right, but now I think it's the same thing, and it's just a matter of getting back to what they can do well. They're doing very well against the run. I think pass is still a bit of an issue. I think if you see just a little bit more pressure, coming from that front seven, they're going to do a little bit better. The other thing is, they institute an entirely new defensive system with no offseason to do it.
Yeah,
so from training camp on, they brought in a bunch of new bodies. They instituted a whole different defensive philosophy.
Pay no attention to the 32, okay? The 32nd place. Don't worry about that. Points allowed. Patriots doing okay. They are 5-1. Let's not forget that.